final days of peace in Galaxy's Edge. Batuu is near the days of war. In the next couple of days, as Rise of the Resistance opens up, will the Galaxy's Edge be overflowed with people? Is it going to come to life? Are the crowds that were anticipated with Project Stardust finally going to materialize? Only time will tell. But for now, it's the last nights of peace in the Galaxy's Edge. The Resistance is rising. Let's check out the last days of peace in Batuu.
It's been 230 days since Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened up on May 31st, 2019. The Galaxy's Edge is a land of complete and total immersion. The design detailing is fantastic. For example, exiting the Smuggler's Run from the storm drain that's been moved slightly over to the exit. It's that kind of high-level, subtle design thinking that made this land very different and surprisingly controversial. These tapestries hang over the back, hidden, accessible ramp for those that can't walk up the stairs. It's a hidden gem. There's no one to tell you how to get there. Because Galaxy's Edge was designed to be a land of discovery. These data pads sprinkled all throughout the land blink and buzz and give a life that makes you think you could control what happens on the other side of this door. A land without music, ambient sound fills the Galaxy's Edge to make it feel so real to us. Design details like this door interaction, it makes it feel fantasy like Star Wars. When looking at this perfectly designed cul-de-sac where the Millennium Falcon proudly sits for everyone to be able to observe in a one-to-one scale, I have to wonder, why did so many people call this land a failure? It was interesting to watch so many people that reviewed the Galaxy's Edge to nearly cry when they first saw this life-size Millennium Falcon, but quickly, months later and sometimes weeks later, started complaining that the crowds weren't showing up, that it was empty, and debating whether it was a failure. And as an artist, something I found to be quite offensive. When you put this much thought and detailing into a storage door that no guest will ever go on the other side of, how have you failed? Look at that laser of light shining over the buildings. Doc's Antique Shop. Docking Bay 7, one of the best walk-up counter service restaurants that you'll find in all of the Disneyland Resort. But was it a failure because it didn't have that wow factor attraction? Was it a failure because it didn't have several attractions to ride? Or was it a failure because people weren't understanding that this land itself, this is the attraction? Being able to walk through a living, breathing, fictional city designed around an intellectual property that means so much to all of us, how could this not be considered one of the best experiences that any amusement park has to offer? I tried to look at the last year as a complete blessing to get to enjoy the Galaxy's Edge while it was quiet. To soak up all of the design details, all of the elements, all of the show buildings that we don't even know what's on the other side of, but tell that Star Wars story. Looking at these bridges that I know I'll never get to walk across, but hopefully one day soon I'll get to see a show happen on. Also, with my design understanding that that bridge acts as a very important frame, a window into a world that we can finally live in. The next time you walk through New Orleans Square or Adventureland and you look at all of the rooftops, where a lot of the storytelling in those lands lives, keep in mind that that exists up high here at Galaxy's Edge, but for the first time, they took that immersion down to the street sign, down to the pathway, so that it's not something you have to look up to see, it's something that you can touch and live by. The number one rule in Disneyland, if an item makes no sense to you, there's a reason why it's there. It's asking you to explore its greater cause. Thinking of what Batuu citizen lives in this little dome makes it feel like there are citizens, like it is real, and like the bad guys are getting ready to show up tomorrow.
A resistance spy was sent here to this outpost. Someone is helping her. Someone is hiding her. And someone knows where to find her. If we believe you know something or that you're hiding something, we will find out. If you will stop the question, I suggest you to whisper. To us.
Excellent advice. Have you found the Resistance spy, Lieutenant?
Not yet, sir, but we will. I have dispatched patrol units.
The spy was tracked here. And if she is here, the Resistance could be here.
Someone here has information. We will get it.
No, Lieutenant. I will get it. You are dismissed.
Disperse from this square now. Move.
The storyline of Batuu feels so real when you get to see the characters moving around. The one criticism of Galaxy's Edge that I strongly agree with is there does need to be more shows. There needs to be more characters moving around the Galaxy's Edge. After all, we were promised that. But as we've seen R2-D2 now roaming around Galaxy's Edge, as tomorrow the Resistance begins, has this year been a soft beta launch? These droid refreshment carts weren't there on day one, and now there's 3 of them, and sometimes the droids will even talk to you. Did Disney play it so incredibly smart that most folks quick to react in the content creator world not even see the big picture? Sure, the milk is horrible, but the land isn't. The land is a perfectly constructed stage in which many stories will soon be told. Just looking over at this magnificent stage, built up high so everyone can get to see the action. Tomorrow, people that complained that it was empty, they'll finally get what they wanted. Rise of the Resistance will be opening. And my question is, will it break the peace of Batuu? Not only will we be able to go on that epic voyage and be a part of that battle, but will there be a battle for space, for attention? Are these quiet nights of a father and a son walking up the stairs, taking their sweet time to enjoy every drop of the Galaxy's Edge, are these days gone? The shops and the bazaar, beautifully designed. The decor in here, absolutely fantastic. Way more enjoyable when you can walk through it and get to see these details and not be pushed through a sea of people. Was the slow rollout to manage expectations? Was the slow rollout to allow tons of people to see Galaxy's Edge sprinkled over a calendar year versus everyone showing up at the exact same time? I know there were technical glitches with the attraction, but every time Disney had the opportunity to upcharge Galaxy's Edge for experience, they have resisted that. That temptation to make more has not been flexed on. This rock work over here to the left side of the screen, do you see the face in there? It looks like a chiseled out version of a face. It's very hard to see during the day, but very clear to me at night. Tell me that you see the face. As we work our way over to the Resistance Outpost, these are 2 young ladies, cast members, that just got to ride the Rise of the Resistance. Disney kicking the tires, letting the team get ready to handle the masses, working within their own, and giving these people that work so hard to bring you and I the magic the well-deserved early display of what Rise of the Resistance is going to mean to all of us as the land finally comes totally to life. But does this one attraction end it? Is this the last big new thing that we'll see in the Galaxy's Edge? My guess is no. I think Disneyland knows what they did and the audience that they built it for. I think they have figured out the way to slowly add, to slowly manage expectations. They took a couple hits on the chin, but I know that they have a bigger strategy to make this land everything that we've always dreamed that it will be and that it is. It was so fun to see people actually in the queue walking around, and even though I didn't get to ride Rise of the Resistance, I got a contact buzz just seeing people walking in there, the fusion that is Disneyland, the movement. Now, if you're like me, when you first came to one of the previews, you wondered, what's with this island in the middle of the walkway? Why would they divide this wide berth in the Galaxy's Edge? Well, it's come to my attention that this side on the left that we're going to walk through, pause for the Raiders fan, is actually part of the queue for very busy days. So imagine when Pirates of the Caribbean has people flowing all around New Orleans Square. This area over here is designed to house more guests. This gate would open up, bringing people back into the area that we just walked through. And if you stare down on the ground, you'll see these little circles, like in the middle of the screen, placed everywhere where they can put up the poles, put up the chains, and run people back and forth in a very tight queue for days where there's a lot of folks trying to ride. But we probably won't see this on opening day because of the smart boarding pass system. This area probably won't be packed out with people, and it certainly won't be packed out with people that paid in advance $250, $300, $500 to get to ride it before everyone else like they have in the past. It's the last days of peace at Batuu, and I just wanted to come and enjoy it and document it and give a love letter to this land that I feel is perfect and not worth all the criticism.
Batuu has had a rich history of war before. It's been peaceful for a while, but it's not afraid to fight. The resistance is coming. Whose side are you on? See you soon. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Tomorrow can't come fast enough. Ooh, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Finally, get to be in my own Star Wars battle.